30, I've been in a relationship for 12 years. And watching Nick trade his wife for a 30-year-old was one of the most ironic things about Four Seasons. I'm Shrishti Jain, I'm a filmmaker, and let's talk about Four Seasons. Let's talk about Four Seasons, the 1981 original and the 2025 reboot, which is on Netflix as of yesterday. Now, as a person in her 30s who's in a decade long relationship, the one thing that both these versions got absolutely right was that marriage isn't a spark. It is seasons, it is cycles, it is stretch marks on your ego, because the ones who don't get this are often the ones who want to trade it in for a younger girlfriend who's actually not that young. In the original, Nick decides to leave his wife Anne because, in his words, she doesn't do anything. He's an insurance salesman with a superiority complex, and she photographs vegetables, which, according to me, was extremely Pinterest coded. However, to him, Anne is too stable, so stable that she is inert. So he replaces her with a younger blonde flight attendant who reflects his bravado back at him like a human LinkedIn post. However, the irony that is baked in is that Nick isn't chasing youth as much as he's running away from reality. And this is pointed out to him by his friend Jack, who's played by Alan Alda, who's the director of this movie, when he says that marriage isn't a sprint, it is a marathon. However, Nick is so full of himself and excited for reinvention that he jumps out mid-race. This leads to the film not so subtly judging him for it, and Anne, who's his wife, vanishing from the plot. Now cut to 2025, where Steve Carell plays Nick in Netflix's Four Seasons, and the bomb of divorce is dropped not at a friendly weekend getaway, but at a vow renewal ceremony that Anne plans for him, and that, according to me, was peak cringe. Here's where this show flipped the script for me, because unlike her 1981 counterpart, this Anne doesn't vanish from the script or from the fight. Instead, she books rooms at the same hotel where Nick is staying, she crashes vacations, she flirts with a younger instructor. She slowly rebuilds herself outside of being Nick's wife. And this is something that the original film denied her, which I think is essential. That is a post-breakup human identity. And as somebody who's 30, this whole situation felt very ironic because the younger girlfriend is 30 years old. And as somebody who is in her 30s, I can tell you that we are not wide-eyed muses anymore. We are tax-paying, emotional baggage-carrying, dinner party planning adults. Nick is just running away from the emotional labor of a long-term relationship, but we all know that the ones who win the marathon are the ones who also practice in the rain.